What's up? EJ coming back at you from Legacy Sports Cards Charlotte. Hope everybody had a great weekend. This is actually take two on this video. Had recorded it yesterday, played it back, made some rookie mistakes, so I had to clean it up some. In this case, though, what it's going to be, and I love watching these videos, by the way, if you guys that post them. I love watching submission reveals. I like watching, mail days, whatever the case might be, slabs, raw cards, whatever. So that's kind of where we're at in this case. In my case, with Legacy here, going back to maybe February, at the top of the year, maybe into January, started accumulating some slabs and going out in eBay auctions and looking for ways to kind of build up the personal collection, right? Find some cards that have some long-term value. Not really one to look for cards to flip immediately. That's not really my style. But I did definitely pick up some cards along the way that I know, because of the World Cup or other sporting events that come about, that they'll have some value long term. So, but the long and short, so what part of the mistake was yesterday, if you could see it in this bin, it's full, right? And so I had, I was going to do 5 slabs, which I've done. I already opened them. I opened up yesterday, but I'll share the same cards. Obviously, the story's still the same. But I was excited about it, and I was going through it and not really paying attention to some of the details. So anyway, with that said, by the way, that's our logo in the back there. I coach a soccer team, and that's our logo for soccer, so I use the same name for Legacy. Those boxes will be broken at some point. We've got a bunch of boxes have accumulated over time. But here we go. So first card is a raw card, and I'll show you here. I don't know what it means to you guys, but it means a lot to me. So this fella here, his name is Lucas Moura. Now, I looked at the card. It's not something that I plan on grading necessarily. It was hard to really get a good look at it, when it's raw on eBay. But it looked pretty clean, so I did pick it up. The reason I love Lucas Moura, not only has he been a great servant to the team, Tottenham Hotspur, I'm a huge fan. That is my club. But also, epic performance back in 2019 in the Champions League semifinal. Spurs scored, he had a second half hat trick to send us to the final against Liverpool. Unfortunately, that game did not go our way. That was back in 19, and we've struggled to get back there since, but maybe this year something's going to finish different. We'll get back in the top 4. But Lucas Moura, great player, was at PSG. We got him for $25 million. Brazilian-born player, sometimes in the national setup, but overall just a great overall player and teammate. So that was the first one. Number dos, a younger player, very exciting for you guys that like Barcelona. We've got Gavi. Now, Gavi is definitely one for the future. He's one for now as it relates to club, but he's one for the future as it relates to the world stage as well. The World Cup's coming up in Qatar, and that'll take place just after Thanksgiving. I believe actually the 25th, the day after Thanksgiving of November, when the World Cup starts. It'll go all the way through mid to late December. And then all the domestic leagues will kick back off again once the players go back to their respective professional teams. So something to look forward to. That's not why I bought this card. Obviously, he's a young player. He's having a big impact already. In 2026, for you guys that are paying attention on the soccer end, USA, Canada, and Mexico will host the 2026 World Cup. Various cities, various dates during that time. That will be in the summer. That's why I bought this card. So whether I want to keep it or not, we'll have to see. But if he continues to grow like he has, this card will be a lot more valuable at that point. I did buy this off an auction and have others like it. But very excited about this card. I'm very excited about what this kid's going to do. But like I said, already have an impact in his first full year here at Barcelona. So that's number 2. Number 3, and something I found out that was pretty cool, and I just noticed it now. The vendor that I bought it from actually stuffed a nice little Connor McDavid card in there. And there might be one other, so I'll take a look at that. But the purchase itself, SGC 9.5 Ilya. So I don't know how much you follow hockey. I grew up a huge Islander fan. Late 70s, early 80s. They had a string of 4 Stanley Cups. Then it was the Gretzky era that started thereafter, where he won 4 shortly thereafter with Edmonton Oilers. But yeah, man, this guy's career started off excellent. Very excited to be picked up this card for such a good price. In fact, I think I did get it from a seller out of Canada. In fact, I also picked up a 10, so I might hang on to both long term. We'll just have to see how that plays out. But Islanders, unfortunately, did not have a great season. COVID struck, injury struck. They dug a hole early on and never really got out of it. And it's sad because last year they were so competitive. This year they were really just a blip. So let's see if next year they could bounce back. But definitely keep your eye on this guy. In fact, I would think, let me see, this is a 2021. The box behind me I have over there is a 21-22. So that's going to be some newer rookies, some of those young guns. So this guy you'll all recognize because he's active right now. JJJ, Jaron Jackson Jr. Picked this up. My stepson Josh, huge Grizzlies fan. Found this on an auction. Honestly, sometimes it sounds crazy. I wake up at 3 in the morning and I'm like, auction's ending soonest. And sometimes I find really dirt cheap graded cards that are on there that would have a great resale value. And you know what? He just loves this player. He loves Morant. He loves the whole team. So this is probably something we're going to hang on to. But it wasn't terribly expensive. In fact, I don't think he's even seen it yet. So that's Jay Wiz, my nephew, so I'll share that with him later, or he'll see it when he watches the video. But anyway, obviously Game 1 went off last night. They came up short by a point. It's going to be a great series. You got some great talent on both sides. I mean, obviously Poole playing lights out for the Warriors, and then we've got Clay and Steph and Draymond. I know he got ejected, but we know what these teams are all about. John Morant, so let's see what goes on there. So anyway, and listen, if you guys like the content, please, like, comment, subscribe, hit the like button, all that stuff. So I appreciate it. This is new for me, so we're just growing out the channel. And I know it takes some time. I need to have some patience, but I love the content. So if you've got something similar out there, please let me know. How about this one? This is definitely one I just came across by chance. Again, not expensive. It's a 9 SGC Michael Jordan collegiate collection. So this is more for a friend. I got a buddy Patrick, lifelong Tar Heel fan, obviously huge Michael Jordan fan. He is not a card collector, but I thought he would certainly appreciate this. So I'll sneak this over to him at some point. He could just put it up with a lot of other UNC collectibles that he already has. But I was always a huge fan of Jordan, and obviously he's got some of the most iconic cards out there. So just something to take a look at. Pretty cool. To this point, we've only had one PSA, all SGC. I'm not just hung up on any one, to be fair. I've ordered some CSG. I got PSA, right? We got SGC, so I got a number of them. And then, of course, I've been ordering up some raw cards. So I want to see what I'm going to do with those. Am I going to rate those, grade those, and do anything with them? I don't know. Still haven't done my first bulk submission. With some of these cards, if you guys have any feedback of where you would suggest sending some of these cards off to that you think rate the best for certain sports. Not every card's cut the same. I get that. The modern cards have their attributes, and some of the older cards, the junk wax eras, have theirs as well. But anyway, well, here's the last one. Another soccer card, another up-and-comer. We've got Jonathan David, Canadian. The Canadian team actually finished on top of the group for CONCACAF. So you've got USA in there, Mexico, Canada. Ironically, all three will be hosting the World Cup, as I mentioned, in 2026. So that's not going to be an issue. They won't be qualifying for them. They'll be all automatically in. But all three have qualified for this year's World Cup. Very excited to see this young player take the world stage. And obviously another card that I'm excited about. I got a 10 here. This will be one long-term, unless if he plays for Tottenham. I could see myself selling this at some point, but you never know, right? You just never know how this is going to play out. So anyway, so yeah, that was my first mailbag experience. So you got Jonathan David, SGC 10. I told you about my Lucas Moura, the story behind him. Amazing player and servant for Tottenham. You've got, let's see here. You got the Gavi Mega Cracks, by the way. I don't know if you caught that. Mega Cracks 9.5. Very excited. That card could already be sold for quite a bit of money. We got Ilya here for 9.5. Islanders goalie. JJJ, right? Having a great run in the playoffs with the Grizzlies. And then lastly, MJ. So listen, guys, like I said, if you could like, subscribe, comment, feedback, hit notifications, anything, I appreciate it. Certainly want to make these videos better and bring my stepson in. If I've mentioned in my previous video, if you've never seen the first one, he's the one that kind of got me started on it. I get a little crazy. Obviously, if you've got a bin full of unopened slabs and raw cards, that's a little nutty, but that's okay because I said that in my first video. but it's fun, man. It's a hobby, and I look at it this way. So I mentioned this the other day. It's kind of like, an annuity. That's how I look at the cards. I don't know what I'm going to do with them long term. That's not the point. It's fun to collect them. It's fun to look at them. It's fun to talk about them, right? Sports, teams, players, whatever the case might be. Type of card, just the way it looks in the slab. I mean, everybody's got their own interests. But, with an annuity, what happens is when you take it out, you pay into it, right? And you accumulate money. That's the whole point. You keep pumping money into it over the course of time, and because at some point, in the retirement ages, that's when you want to take the money back out, right? So you put the money in, you kind of let it mature, and sometimes they're invested in mutual funds. Sometimes it's just a fixed return. But either way, the whole idea is you build it up over time, and then you bleed it out, in retirement, little by little, as an annuity. So that's kind of how I look at it. I expect this just to be fun, just to be a hobby. But who knows? I might have come across some cards over the years that be worth selling and help out in some fashion, right? So, listen, again, appreciate the attention to the channel. Any feedback, anything we could do to get better, let us know. Legacy Sports Card Charlotte. There'll be another sports show, card show, I should say, here in Charlotte. I believe it's June 4th. So we'll discuss that as we get closer. But you guys have a great day. It's a Monday afternoon in Charlotte. It's beautiful, and we'll talk to you soon.